Step after step, the leaves rustled as Little Red Riding Hood trudged through the old forest on her way to her grandmother's cottage. On a normal day, the forest would be alive with the chirping of birds and the hum of insects. But today, for some reason, it was silent. Little Red Riding Hood felt a strange sense of unease. Every footstep sounded louder than the last, as if the whole forest were holding its breath. In the distance, she finally spotted her grandmother's tiny cottage. Relieved, she quickened her pace, glad that her long walk through the forest was nearly over. As she drew closer, she noticed a figure standing outside the cottage. At first, she thought it was her grandmother, but then she realized something was terribly wrong. The figure had thick gray fur, sharp claws, and piercing yellow eyes. Behind it swung a frizzy tail. This was no sweet old grandmother. It was the big, bad wolf. The wolf looked as though he was just leaving the cottage when he spotted her. Little Red Riding Hood froze. She was only a few meters away when the wolf spoke in a low, smooth voice.
"Hello there, young lady. Are you here to visit your grandmother?"
She hesitated, eyeing him cautiously.
Yes. What about you?
Despite her suspicious tone, the wolf remained calm and polite.
"I too came to visit her. I heard she was sick and wanted to pay her a visit."
Little Red Riding Hood frowned.
Who told you that?
"Some animals, the deer to be specific." "Well then, I'm off. Nice talking to you."
The wolf waved goodbye and disappeared into the forest. Little Red Riding Hood let out a huge breath.
He wasn't as evil as I thought he'd be.
She murmured to herself. She entered the cottage.
Grandmother?
She called. No reply. She knocked on the door again, but silence greeted her once more.
Maybe she's sleeping,
she thought. Little Red Riding Hood checked the kitchen and the living room one last time before heading up the stairs. The bedroom door was slightly ajar, a faint light spilling through the crack. She knocked softly.
Grandmother, I'm coming in.
She expected to find her grandmother resting peacefully in bed, but no, the bed was empty. Instead, lying on the floor was her grandmother.
Grandmother!
She screamed, dropping to her knees beside her. Her grandmother didn't move.
Wake up!
She shook her gently at first, then more desperately when there was no response. Terrified, Little Red Riding Hood placed her hand on her grandmother's chest. No heartbeat.
No!
She whispered, disbelief flooding her voice. Her breath hitched, and tears welled in her eyes. She hugged her grandmother tightly, praying it was all just a terrible dream, that she would wake up and find them together again.
You can't be dead!
She yelled in agony.
There's no way! You were healthy!
She choked back tears.
So how? How?
Then a realization washed over her like cold water. She remembered the old wolf. Those were lies. He couldn't have met her grandmother if she were already dead. He would have noticed. Her mind came to a conclusion. Filled with rage, she ran to the closet and grabbed a gun. It was old. Her grandfather had brought it back from the war, but it still worked. Little Red Riding Hood ran out the house and into the forest, gun in hand. Her eyes desperately scanned the trees. He couldn't have gone far. And then she saw him. She lifted the gun, aimed, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed through the forest. Birds scattered, and even Little Red Riding Hood herself flinched at the sound. The wolf had been hit squarely in the head. Now he lay lifeless on the ground. Soon the animals gathered, drawn by the noise. When they saw the wolf's corpse, grief spread among them.
Oh no, the wolf is dead.
Who could have done this? The animals murmured and questioned, mourning their foe. Astonished, Little Red Riding Hood stepped into their midst. Amid the commotion, she raised her voice.
Why are you all sad? This wolf killed my grandmother!
Murmurs spread among the animals.
What do you mean? He would never do that. Did you catch him?
Well, no. But when he left, my grandmother was dead.
Nonsense! He was the one taking care of your sick grandmother.
Little Red Riding Hood fell silent. Her hands trembled, the gun still heavy in her grip. She had acted on anger, letting fear and grief guide her. And now an innocent life had been lost because of her choices. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Even the birds that had flown away in the gunshot's wake did not return. A cold wind rustled through the trees, whispering a bitter truth. Anger is a fire, and once it consumes, it cannot be undone. She realized then that justice sought in rage could become tragedy, and even the best intentions could pave the way to irreversible consequences. Little Red Riding Hood lowered her eyes and took a step back. From that day forward, she vowed to act with both courage and care, to temper emotion with reason, and to remember the cost of haste. The forest had witnessed her sorrow, and she would carry its lesson for the rest of her life.